It's time for Commonwealth Common Sense with Susan Stimpson and Kevin Scholla.
Hello, Susan. Welcome back.
Hey, Kevin. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. And here we go, the Christmas season wrapping up here. We're heading toward the big day, unbelievably. It went, I don't know, kind of on time, I think, in a way, but in other ways fast. And, you know, you always get so excited for it, and at least I know I do, and I know you do. But apparently some people want to put a stop to even saying the word.
I think so. I think in America we're just getting so dangerously loose with everything having to be so politically correct. There was a poll that came out recently that half of Americans have detached any religious ties to the meaning of Christmas. But my greater concern is what I'm seeing in America on so many different things and so many different levels as far as political correctness, that is what a certain segment of people think is politically correct, and the warning not to say Merry Christmas.
Yeah, and it's so awkward, too, because it's not only, you know, as Sarah Palin has said, the atheists armed with attorneys or those who actually have an agenda, but a lot of times it is people who do celebrate Christmas, but they've just been so beaten down that this is the thing to do that they're walking around with this happy holidays or whatever else. You get all these cards in the mail telling you about it's the season about laughter and it's the season about, you know, all these different words, but never do you mention Christmas or the guy who you're celebrating.
Well, we talked about this at Thanksgiving, the Thanksgiving proclamation that George Washington gave to our nation, and I kind of said tongue-in-cheek that today he would be labeled as extreme. But Ravi Zacharias is a theologian who I do enjoy reading, and I do admire him. And one of the points that he made, he's a Hindu, he's from India, and he now lives here in the United States. He said that you talk about, you know, the Judeo-Christian values on which our nation was founded, and you cannot ignore what, you know, is in the founding document. All men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. So I just think that there should be more of us who are very willing to just wish people a Merry Christmas.
And meantime, we see what happens with Phil Robertson here on Duck Dynasty, who just answers a question honestly, his opinion, his religious beliefs, to a magazine, not even on the show that he's on. And here he gets suspended from his show by A&E. Meantime, people chuckle at Miley Cyrus. You know, Martin Bashir, he had to leave on his own after the vile things he said about Sarah Palin. But this guy's talking about his Christian beliefs, and they suspend the man.
Well, I was doing some Christmas shopping at a very well-known store that everyone goes to, and there was an album it was a CD by Lady Gaga. And the front of that album, of what she has chosen to do, she's basically nude, and she is in a very just awkward, lewd position. Those type of things are fine, but when you express your freedom of speech, even if you don't like what someone says, even if they say it in a tone and a manner and a way that you don't agree, we all have to agree that there is right to have a freedom of speech here in America. And I did find it very interesting that the very group that wants there to be tolerance was very intolerant of anyone expressing a difference of opinion. I do think that we should be expressing our differences in love, and so I don't think that I would have adopted that type of tone. But if you don't like someone's tone, then I would just say don't listen to them, don't watch whatever program they may be on, and move on. But once we start censoring what people are allowed to say are their beliefs, I think that we're just going to have some real problems.
Right, and that's the common sense approach. I've always thought that, too. I've never called for anyone's job for any of these reasons. If you don't want to listen to or watch someone, you simply don't do it. But this is what we see, from Imus to what they tried to do with Rush Limbaugh, with what they did here with Phil Robertson. They have to try to take your job from you, take your livelihood. It's really unbelievable. You know, I'm paraphrasing here, but I remember President Reagan said something along the lines, when you talk about Christmas, about how, you know, and this was back in the 80s, and this is when this all probably really started at the fever pitch and now has come to this point where, people, you can't even say Secret Santa. I know one school by us is having a secret snowman giveaway with the kids. Why even do it if you're going to do that? But I remember Reagan said something along the lines of, you can have trees in the room, you can have pictures of snowflakes, but I wonder what the teacher says if someone raises their hand and says, hey, why is it called Christmas?
Interesting. Well, I just think that as we start moving into this more and more in detail through all kinds of different holidays and different beliefs, I think that Americans are going to have to make a decision that protection of our First Amendment right to express our opinion and have freedom of speech is pretty important. And I think that we need to just push back on overreaches like this and just certainly celebrate a wonderful and joyous season.
It's funny, too, how those who don't want to say the word Christmas celebrate, quote-unquote, Christmas, when, that just by definition can't be the case. I compare it to when vegetarians who are vegetarians for animal reasons then get food that looks like a hot dog or looks like chicken nuggets. I never understood that. Like, why do you want it to look like an animal if you're against animal? It's the same kind of just awkward mindset and, lack of common sense or thought.
I think that it's interesting for some people that want to kind of avoid the word Christmas, they'll say happy holidays, but the very definition of a holiday is a holy day. It's a set-apart day. Mm-hmm. So no matter how hard we try, in my opinion, I don't think that there's going to be any way that we can be separated from, what is true. And so I just encourage everyone to say Merry Christmas.
Absolutely, Susan Stimpson. It is not Arbor Day. It's not Grandparents' Day. It's not Halloween. It is Christmas time. And Merry Christmas to you and your family. And thanks for all you do. This whole year has been wonderful with you here on the Palin Update. And we look forward to more fun starting in January.
Kevin, thank you. And you have a great and Merry Christmas as well.